Hello, I'm Ngaire McDiarmid from Mining Journal, and today I'm speaking with Jerko Zuvela, the Managing Director of Argosy Minerals, which has two lithium projects, one in the US and one nearing commercial production in Argentina. So, Jerko, if we start there at Rincon, can you provide an update as to how works are progressing?
Yeah, thanks, Nari. Great to be with you today. Works are progressing very well. Obviously, the lithium market and lithium prices are very positive for us at the moment, and it's translating into being able to progress our 2,000 tonne per annum construction works very well. Albeit, we'd love to move quicker, but we're on schedule and we're on budget. We put an announcement out earlier this week that we're 45% complete with those works, and the construction work should be finished during April next year, and then commissioning and ramp up, and hopefully first production to start in July next year.
So, commercial production less than a year away at 2,000 tonnes per annum. Your plans are to ramp this up to 10,000 tonnes per annum. What timeline do you envisage that happening in?
Yeah, so we're looking to progress from our 2,000 tonne per annum operation. We actually are waiting for our approvals to build an additional 10,000 tonne per annum. Ideally, what we'd like is to complete the 2,000 tonne construction works around that April period, get those approvals prior to that for constructing that additional 10,000 tonne. And once we sort of enter production of that 2,000 tonne per annum operation, we then seamlessly flow into commencing those construction works for the additional 10,000 tonne per annum facility, which ultimately would take us to a 12,000 tonne per annum operation. That's sort of the plan at the moment, obviously subject to funding and getting those final approvals, or that last EIA approval from the Salta province government. But that's all looking pretty good. We're expecting to get that late this year or early next year, and hopefully a funding solutions around that time, and we can seamlessly move into the next phase of development and construction works at the project.
Well, speaking of Rincon specifically, there's obviously a focus in the market at the moment on reducing carbon emissions and the environmental and green credentials of lithium projects. What do you see as Rincon's advantages in this regard?
We're very fortunate. We have our local partner is a lithium processing expert, been involved in lithium processing for 30 years, 15 years at FMC as their Director of Processing and Technology. So a lot of experience and a lot of know-how and a lot of expertise. So when we've been working on our project, he has really focused on those green credentials, given how important that is, and more so as we move into the future. But we've been able to limit our freshwater requirements and our energy requirements. And as part of those energy requirements, even though they're going to be limited, but a big factor will be that it will be solar powered. We have a solar park that's recently been constructed and commenced operation in the last couple of weeks. A French group has built that, and our consultants have been able to propose that we'll be able to connect to that facility, and the owners of that park are more than happy for us to do that. So from an energy perspective, we'll be able to produce what people are talking about, clean green lithium for a clean greener world. We'll be able to do that with hopefully either net zero or very low carbon emissions, given the fact that a lot of the energy will be coming from solar power, or all of the energy will be coming from solar power for the 10,000 tonne ramp up or scale up. And in terms of the freshwater requirements, it's going to be very minimal as well. What we'll take that from the ground, the freshwater from the ground, but where we'll be able to benefit is that 90% of that freshwater will be recyclable. So therefore, any water that we take from the ground will not impact the balance of the natural environment around us, and maintain an equilibrium in that environment. So again, low freshwater use, low energy requirements with solar power, and hopefully very low carbon emissions or net zero if that's possible, and produce our lithium and supply it into a world that is going less carbon emissions.
Well, speaking of the second card up your sleeve, your Tonopah lithium project in the US, if we take a look at that now, it's next to the only lithium operation in the US, Silver Peak. What's on the cards there in the coming months?
Yeah, that's something that we've been able to advance in recent times, with the lithium markets improving and having a little bit more funds in our bank accounts. We've conducted some geophysical magnetotelluric surveying works, which has identified some potential conductive or brine aquifers which really the next steps now are to perhaps conduct some drilling works there. We might try to do a little bit of exploration targeting exercises to try to identify the scale or the size of that brine resource there prior to doing the drilling, to give us a bit of an idea on what potential there may be there, and give us an indication of what we might be able to achieve. But really the next steps are getting that drilled out, proving up a resource, understanding what that resource will be, and then hopefully maybe being able to apply the same development strategy that we've applied at Rincon and apply it to Tonopah. And given the US government's very much strong support of the EV battery supply chain, that's very exciting to have a project in the US that we might be able to hopefully one day provide our lithium product into those supply chains in the US, given how critical that's going to be with the government focus on it in the near term.
Well, if we continue a look at the lithium market more broadly, especially as you're nearing commercial production and you're in talks with potential off-takers, what are you hearing in terms of supply and demand?
Yeah, we're having constant conversations not only with potential customers and end users, but even strategic groups that are involved in those discussions, and understanding what some of these major customers will want now and into the future. And we just had a call this morning with a group, and it's basically there's a voracious appetite for product. They can't get enough. Obviously, it's all coming, or most of it's coming out of China at the moment. The Europeans and the North American, the battery supply chain has probably got a little while to go before it really hits the markets. And obviously, given the state of the markets at the moment and the lithium price, obviously that will have an even bigger impact. So yeah, it really is. Anyone that can produce will be in a very good position. Effectively, what that allows us to do is really, be able to leverage that product offtake with potential financing for our 10,000 tonne scale up. And that's exactly what we've been working on, probably more so in the last few months, given the lithium price. But really, it's almost, again, without sounding overconfident or arrogant, but really, the strength is with the producers at the moment. The customers and the end users are almost beholden to our demands and requirements, and that's a great position to be in, given how it's been a bit of a challenging previous few years in the lithium market. So it's nice to have that little bit more balance. But really, yeah, we're very confident at being able to leverage that offtake with a full funding solution to build that 10,000 tonne capex requirement will be achievable, given the impact and the state of the lithium market at the moment. So that's very exciting for us. It's obviously great for our shareholders, and being able to go from 2,000, which is like you said, commercial operation, but really we want to be targeting at 12,000. And if we can put a funding solution together, start production there, generating revenues, given the current lithium prices, by 12,000 tonnes per annum, that puts a lot of revenues and profits back into our business, and would love to use that to further expand the business, further expand production, and look at other opportunities, whether it's offshore or locally, to really build up our business over the next few years.
A busy chapter ahead, Jerko. Thank you very much for having the time to provide an update today.
Thanks very much to you and Mining Journal.